I was driving home really late at night after a work meeting that lasted way longer than planned. This meeting happens once a year, and I had to drive for 8 hours from where I usually work. The roads outside the city were pretty boring. They were surrounded by lots of farmland with endless crops. But at night, when it was quiet and empty, it was easier for me to concentrate on finding my way home because the roads were straight. As I kept going down the empty road, I saw something strange. There was a big gap in the plants on the right side, and I could see a car stuck way inside the fields. It looked like the driver went off the road and got stuck in the crops. I didn't worry because their car wasn't moving and the engine was off. I thought they probably asked for help or called someone. So I kept going on my way without thinking much about it. But then my calmness was suddenly interrupted by bright lights in front of me. The car ahead was going very, very slowly, much slower than the allowed speed of 80. I quickly changed lanes to pass a car, but then that same car sped up behind me, following really closely. I felt worried as the car suddenly moved into the lane for oncoming traffic and matched my speed. I looked over and saw a man in his 40s, with messy hair and a scruffy beard. His face seemed sneaky, and it made me feel uneasy. I felt like something bad might happen, so I turned my eyes away and focused on the road. Out of nowhere, the car in front of me swerved and stopped fast. I had to stop too, because it blocked both sides of the road, making everyone stop suddenly. I got really scared when a guy wearing a hood jumped out of that car with a gun. My heart was racing a lot. I got really scared and quickly pushed the car's gas pedal hard. I drove off the road and hit the crops on a nearby farm. But the car wouldn't move even though I tried really hard. I felt really worried when I remembered seeing another car left alone in the fields earlier. I was really scared because I thought something really bad was going to happen. But then my car got control and came out of the field and back onto the road. I felt better, but not for long. I heard a faraway gunshot at night, and it made me worry about my safety. So I quickly drove away and called 911 to tell them about what happened and the other car that was stuck. The police found the empty car, but the driver was nowhere to be seen. It was like they had disappeared suddenly. The spooky resemblance between their situation and my close call scared me a lot. The police looked really hard for the person who tried to stop me, but they couldn't find them. Later, an officer called me and said they found something unexpected. Lots of cars were getting stolen on that empty road where it happened to me. The bad person pretended their car was broken down to trick drivers into stopping. Then they would rob the drivers. The broken car was just a trick to fool people passing by. I was really scared when I found out I narrowly avoided a really bad person. It made me feel uneasy. It reminded me that the world can be really surprising, especially on empty roads. I couldn't stop thinking about what happened. It taught me to always be careful, even when things seem normal. When things got hard, I used to go on long drives. Even when I moved away from my parents' home, stress would still get to me sometimes. So I'd end up back in my car, driving to help myself feel better and think clearly. One night, I felt really stressed out. I couldn't relax, and I was very anxious. My boyfriend, who always gets me, said I should go for a short drive. He said it was getting late, so I said bye to him, agreed, and went on the drive. At the beginning, I drove around the city, but I still felt stressed. I wanted something that would make me feel better, something familiar. That's why I went north, onto those quiet roads I knew well. It was really late, past 11 p.m., and it felt like the world only belonged to me and the dark road. As I was driving, I saw fields covered in snow and trees without leaves. It was a bit spooky, but also calm. Suddenly, everything changed when I saw a car ahead with its emergency lights flashing. I had a strange feeling that something wasn't okay. Then I saw weird marks on the car door, like someone had stopped in a hurry. Nobody was there, and my phone couldn't get any signal. I kind of wanted to help, but I got scared because of all the scary stories about crimes I had read and watched. So I waited before asking if someone needed help. It was quiet for a bit, then a rough voice replied. I felt relieved, but it didn't make me feel better for very long. I saw strange stuff. The car was messy inside but not broken, and the person coming to me didn't look hurt. They had a scary mask on, holding something that looked like a weapon. I got really scared and drove away fast, my heart beating so fast. A person yelled really loud, so I drove super fast, feeling like something really scary was chasing me. Finally, I got to a busy place and phoned my friend who's a police officer. He promised he'd make sure the nearby police came to see what was going on. I called my boyfriend while I was still really scared and told him everything that happened. He really wanted to come over quickly, but I said he should wait until the police got there. I was really scared, thinking those people might try to come back for me. But then something surprising happened. As I was waiting for the police, I heard noise outside. I looked out the window and saw flashing lights. I felt relieved, thinking it was the police arriving. When I took a closer look, I saw it wasn't the police. It was a bunch of people wearing masks like the one I saw before. I got really scared when I saw they were all around the house. I felt panicked and knew I had to do something quickly. I quickly decided to run to the back door and hurried outside into the dark night. I remembered my boyfriend telling me to be safe. I ran fast through the dark, feeling excited and scared, and I didn't want to look back. I kept running until I reached a big road. I waved at a car that was driving by. The driver looked surprised but stopped to see if I needed help. I told them what was going on, and they said they'd take me to the closest police station. While we were driving, I couldn't stop feeling scared that the people wearing masks might follow us. The driver said we were safe, but I was still really nervous. When we got to the station, I told the officers everything that had happened. They quickly sent police to my house and the place I talked about. I waited at the station for a long time, feeling worried. Eventually, they said they found the strange car, but the people weren't there. When my boyfriend came, we felt both relieved and worried. The police said they'd watched the area for more trouble. Since that scary night, I've been nervous, always checking around me. The police didn't find many clues, so I'm unsure about what happened. It taught me to be careful and remember that danger can be anywhere, even where you least expect it. Before I continue to the next story, if you are interested in earning from YouTube without showing your face, or without making videos by yourself using artificial intelligence, like the video that you are watching right now, then I have a special free training for you. Check the first link in the description below to get instant access. In 2023, summer was almost over. I was almost 17 years old and hanging out with my younger buddy. We lived in a really quiet place in southwest Georgia, not far from Waycross, Florida. Everything closed really early, around 10 p.m., so we had to find our own ways to have fun. We started our evening by going to the mall and driving around, hoping to meet some girls. It's the kind of thing that a lot of teenage guys do. But we didn't have any luck with that, so we ended up going to the bowling alley and stayed there until it closed for the night. Later, we walked along Main Street, exploring the side streets, feeling pretty good about ourselves, even though we were just having fun. Our neighborhood was safe, so we never felt scared or in any danger. We walked around for a while and then decided to go to Waffle House to eat something. It was the only place open late at night. Even after eating there and quickly going to Walmart, we didn't feel like going to bed yet. So, we drove around on some quieter roads. We liked doing that, having fun driving around late at night. We found ourselves on a road I'd only been on once before. It didn't feel familiar to either of us. When we entered Florida, it changed into a rough dirt road. These roads aren't used much, and this one was the same. We had to drive really slow because it could be unsafe, especially at night. We were being careful and feeling fine until we noticed a guy near a house light. We couldn't see his face clearly, but it felt spooky because he was standing still, staring at us without moving, except to look as we moved. We tried not to worry, guessing he was just hanging out for a smoke outside. But that was only the beginning. We started walking faster, feeling more and more scared. All of a sudden, the path stopped, and we were back on a road I recognized. We felt better, happy to leave the strange feelings behind. While we were driving, my car lights shone on something up ahead. At first, we thought it might be a deer since they're often seen in that area. But it wasn't a deer. It was a person, a woman. She was bent over, walking on the side of the road where cars were coming from. She had really long, untidy gray hair and was dressed all in white. But what scared us was that her clothes had dried blood on them, and she was holding a big knife. When she started moving her hands a lot and running toward us, we stopped trying to act calm. We quickly drove away and kept going until we reached the highway. We took a different way home because we were worried she might try to follow us. In our small town, we usually know everyone, but we didn't recognize her when she showed up that one time. We looked out for news about her, but there was nothing. Now I live close by with my wife. I still use that road, but I haven't seen her since. Earlier this year, there was a big police operation nearby for drugs and illegal fights. I think the house with the guy always watching might have been involved. And remember that woman? I really hope I don't see her again. But here's the surprising part. A few months later, I was chatting with an old person at the nearby diner. They'd been here forever and knew everything about this area. So, I told them about that strange night, explaining the road and the spooky woman. He got silent and looked at his coffee for a bit. Then he moved closer and started telling me about something his friend who used to live around there had said. A long time ago, there was actually a lady who lived in the woods close by. People thought she was into weird things and kept to herself a lot. There were rumors that she was part of some not-so-good stuff, like she knew secrets others wanted to stay hidden. But here's the surprising part. One night, she disappeared. Nobody saw her after that. People looked everywhere, especially in the woods, but she was gone. All that remained were stories and memories that made everyone feel uneasy. Some people said she had secrets. They thought she might have seen something she shouldn't have, and something bad happened to her because of it. I'm not sure if it was the exact same lady we saw, but remembering that road and the spooky feeling there gives me shivers. There was this woman who appeared suddenly and felt really scary. It made me think maybe she was like a ghost from a long time ago. It's weird because it shows how the things that scare us the most are the ones we can't figure out.